Hey, what's up, YouTube? I wanted to bring you in here with a quick little update on our Massey Ferguson 180 project. I don't know if I mentioned it in the previous video, but this is a 1966 model. Got some 60s classic iron here. And I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update as to what we've found here, what kind of progress we've made. So there is that hydraulic oil. That's been sitting for a day, so it hasn't really settled out much. That is some nasty stuff. But I got my return line replaced. We went ahead and put in a different line here and got it plumbed up. We have removed our Weyerhaeuser mounting bracket. We don't have the 2x6 in here anymore. And I thought for a while about just building a bracket here to come off of the axle housing here and set this spool valve up a little bit better. But I decided to just bolt it into place here, and we'll run it like this for a little while and see how it works. Reasons for that are a couple of things. Number one, I do have part of the original hydraulic system that goes on here, and it's actually got two spool valves that I could set up 4 hydraulic remotes instead of 1 or potentially 2 with this valve setup. So I need to do a little bit of research and see if there's a process or a way to rebuild that valve assembly because it looked like it was leaking pretty good, and that's kind of what we were told when we bought the tractor, is that it was leaking like crazy and making a big mess, so he just took it off and replaced it with this. Reality of it is, the only thing that I'm going to run off of this tractor right now that I may need hydraulics for would be hay bine, and it's a single acting cylinder, so I can run that with the one remote that I've got on here now. So it'll do the job for me as it is. So instead of spending time and building a bracket, we're just going to run it like that for a little while and see how it goes. So a few other things that we want to do here. I need to change the filters. I'm going to do fresh fuel filters. So this is kind of cool. This is the primary filter here. It's got a water separator on the bottom of it. If you can see that line in there, right there, that on the bottom is water. And this is fuel on the top. So water separators are a good thing, especially on farm implements that may tend to sit out in the weather a little bit. But we'll get those drained. We'll swap those fuel filters out. I did go ahead and get an oil filter, and we'll run some Rotella in this. I went to my local AGCO dealer, which is not too far from me here at all, and picked up those parts. So you can probably see the part numbers on those. I think it was $24 and change for both fuel filters and a fresh oil filter. I got $30 worth of Rotella, $15.40 there that we'll go ahead and feed her and get it put back together. So that's kind of the next big order of business. I would like to get the lights wired up as well. I was able to dig around in the fenders here and found the wiring for the lights, just kind of hot wired them, and all 4 bulbs work. So I may take a little bit of time and wire those up to some switches, or I may actually spend a little bit of my moldy money and buy the right switch that's supposed to be on here. There's about a 5-position switch, I think, that Massey Ferguson used on these. It gave you the option of having high beams or low beams, or maybe both. And then this thing's supposed to have a rear-mounted work light that mounts there on the fender. It shines back at the implement, and then a lot of these had fender-mounted flashers as well. This one may or may not have had those. It's got some holes in the fender here. I don't know if that was just from maybe mounting controls for a round baler or something, because it doesn't have a hole on this side. So I don't know if I'll put flashers on it or not. but do want to get a work light and get some lights working on it. I think the reason that stuff is not on here is that, from what I can tell, on the seating assembly that should have been on here, there's kind of a flat deck that would have been at about this height. And up higher, like next to the seat, there was kind of a sheet metal console that rolled down around. And I think the key and the switch for the lighting was on that console. So obviously all that stuff was removed at one point, and it looks like maybe they just hacked the wiring off of it and never wired it back up. So I'd like to get some lights going on it. Getting fluids and filters changed was kind of the first order of the business here, so we're well on our way to doing that. We've got fresh hydraulic oil in it. Looks much better than what we had in there before. I may end up running that for a few months and then dumping it again. Just as ugly as that stuff was, I'm just worried that there may have been some water and moisture left in there that we didn't get it all. So I don't know, we'll kind of keep an eye on it. We'll run it a little bit and keep an eye on the level, keep an eye on the condition of the fluid, see what things look like, and we'll go from there. But probably the next thing we'll do is we'll change these fuel filters out. I may walk you through the process for bleeding the fuel system on these. There's about a 5 or 6 step process by which you open different bleed screws and bleed the air out of this system to get the thing to start again. So might walk you through what that process looks like. That's probably useful information to have. I may wait a few days to do that. I did order a seal kit for this injection pump. I don't know if I'd showed you before, but got a little leak in the injection pump. Well, you know what? Why don't I fire it up? I'll show you right now. See how long it takes before we can see that leak. Watch it not leak now that I'm running the camera. Makes just a little bit of smoke when it's cold like this, but it goes away real quick as it warms up. Looks like it's not going to leak for me right now. That's funny. Only thing I changed on the injection pump is I turned up the idle speed a little bit. It was idling a little bit low, and just kind of glancing through the manual, it said idle speed on these is supposed to be between 725 and 775 RPMs, and they said it's important that the tractor idles at that speed. So I'm guessing for purposes of correct circulation and lubrication, it's probably kind of important, but I don't know, maybe it's important because the injection pump leaks if you don't idle at that speed. So I'm not sure what's going on. It was leaking from right in here. This sector shaft that comes up through that operates the rack for the injection pump was leaking. And from the exploded view, it looks like there's a couple of O-rings that go on that shaft to seal it. So I don't know, maybe it'll be okay now. If not, we've got the parts on the way, and they weren't very expensive. So, filters, fluids, that'll be about it for right now. I will put out a plea if anyone sees this and you've got parts for one of these tractors, comment down below. I would love to talk with you. I wouldn't mind putting this thing back as it should be. Put the operator platform back on it, and to be able to raise the operator level a little bit to put it back up kind of where it needs to be. And I'd really like to have these side shields that go on here. We've got a local tractor scrapyard that's about 2.5 miles from the house here, and I headed over there and wandered around the yard for a while and just wasn't able to find anything. Found a couple of hoods from 175, 150, 165 tractors in this series, but no side shields. So I'd like to find those side shields that go on here and be able to kind of close this thing up and make it look a little more correct. But as it sits, it'll work. So that's it for now. I just figured I would post a quick update, show you that we are making a little bit of progress. Thanks for watching. If you like these videos, please give us a thumbs up, and we'd be honored if you'd be willing to subscribe. We'll be posting more updates on this thing as we have the time to work on it. Thanks for watching.